Hello guys, before we start the video, I'm really sorry that I didn't make a video yesterday, mostly because the electricity wasn't working, mostly because somebody keeps using all of the freaking, electricity. My neighbors. Anyway, so I'm really sorry I didn't make a video. And yeah, so let's begin the actual story. Hello guys, I am back from another video, and today we're talking about Deku was the Grim Reaper. So, in the last video Deku, after Class 1B arrived seeing Izuku train, Ibara asked if Izuku can let her join a certain sanctum so she can become a Grim Reaper, or at least a version of a Grim Reaper, but Izuku denies her. So, when the test of courage is finally time, they started going into the forest. In Izuku's case, Izuku's partner is Todoroki. Izuku started talking with Todoroki a little bit about, how Izuku wants to call her a she instead of a he when they're, alone together. But when they're about to, kiss, they were interrupted by a demon by the name of Dekarabia. But, Dekarabia was shortly killed. Not by Izuku, but a angel. This angel, his name is the angel known as Abaddon, the gatekeeper of hell, which, surprisingly, there's also a demon that also safeguards hell. His name was Orcos. Both of them got into a fight as several demons basically, came out of there and decided to take over the world. That is why, demons have, taken over the world, or at least, came out of hell and started terrorizing, the world. And so, that is why, several demons have been, terrorizing Japan lately. And also, he tells Izuku the reason why they've been, attacking Earth. Apparently, there was a coup against Lucifer, and the actual starter of this coup was Leviathan, being a representation of the sin envy. The reason why because, he's envious at Lucifer being the only one becoming the ruler of hell, and that's why he killed them. And several demons tried to, take over hell, but most of them got defeated, but decided to, take over Earth instead. And that is why most of these angels had to, summon or at least give their blessings to humans so they can defeat these demons. So, after Izuku, defeated the rest of these demons, and also saving his classmates and also Class 1B, Izuku got back home as he explains what happened to his, church. The head priest tells Izuku that they're going to be, preparing a final battle against humans. And he's allowed to, tell some heroes and also some, of his friends, because they're, after all, heroes in training as well, so they can become, Grim Reapers themselves, so they can take down the actual, problem. This problem being, Leviathan. And so, that was basically the end of this episode. And so, let's talk about what happens next. So, it was a normal class at first, but Ezekiel didn't come to class, as when they hear the sounds of, cars. They look over, and several of the classes just look over, as they see two large, cars. And these cars contain 7 people, each representing the, archangels that they represent. One of them was a kid that seems to be German, as he seems to be wearing a white uniform. Actually, almost all of them are wearing white uniforms, but with several different accents of black and, different colors, like, for example, red, blue, and many other colors. As they see Izuku with them, as they were told to go to the auditorium. And so, many of the students, teachers, And the top 10 heroes, in fact, have been brought to the auditorium as they see a old, shriveled man saying he's like his name was named Solomon, or people originally called him King Solomon. The reason why he called every single hero here is because they wanted to tell everybody that they're going to be, participating in the final battle between the angels and demons. So they need the help of, some humans to take down these, demons. And so that's why many of the top 10 heroes and also heroes in training and the teachers were brought here, as they were told to meet with some other people. And these people were the seven archangels, well, disciples, as they see in front of them these seven people, each of varying ages and also different nationalities, as they see Izuku with them. As Monoma says this, "Wait, you're Izuku, that Izuku kid from Class 1A. What are you doing there?" As Izuku just says this, "Did you forgot? I am one of the, you know, one of the disciples of one of the seven archangels. In my case, the angel of faith and death, Azrael. And this is our leader. He's American. He calls himself, what's your name exactly? I kind of forgotten." As he says this, "Oh yeah, I forgot. My Japanese isn't really that good, so if some of you guys think that I sound weird, then as Pony says this, don't worry, I can translate that for you, because if you don't know, Pony speaks English somewhat. I mean, she actually speaks English in the actual like anime series, but she doesn't sound good when she's speaking Japanese. So, as she says this, I'll translate that for for all of you guys. As a hero says this, don't worry, I'll just translate it for you. And by the way, kid, just listen. As he says this, my name is Arthur Morgan, and I am the disciple of the Archangel Michael. And this is my weapon, or should I say my partner. His name is Zeus." As Zeus appears, resembling a sword made out of fire. As he says this, "It's nice to meet you all. I am Zeus. And if you're wondering if you're the Zeus from Greek mythology, no. I'm just an angel." As everybody in the in the stage, being the people that are the disciples of each of the seven archangels, bring out their partners. As everybody sees their partners, as it tells them that they're going to be given these similar types of partners, but except they're going to be weaker because they're artificially made, thanks to the help of the church and a bit of help with science, like science and like a bit of like magic. Mix these like artificial like angels, just calling them metatrons, which if you don't know is also another archangel, which apparently is supposed to be like the top god. Like he's basically like the head honcho of like the other angels, right next to Michael. Apparently he's also above Michael, maybe about like the same level as God, but thankfully he's not like Lucifer where, "Oh, I believe I'm greater than God." Yeah, he's basically that powerful, but these are just called Metatron protos, or just proto Metatrons, which are just copies of him. As he says this, one of them calling himself wait for a second. One of the disciples of the archangels says this, "I am Jin Ho. I'm from Korea. I'm the disciple of Metatron. It's nice to meet you all." As she summons out her partner, his name, or should I say her name, is, well, Athena, which resembles a spear. As she says this, "It's nice to meet you all. These artificially made partners of yours are just called Metatron protos, or just proto Metatrons, which are just copies of my archangel that I serve. As they wield them, resembling different types of weapons to guns, nunchucks, and so many others. As a man appears, as he says this, "Huh, nice to meet you all. The name's, wait for a second. The name's Oliver Williams. I am the disciple of, what's his name exactly? I kind of forgotten." As his partner, by the name of Ares, says this, "You just seriously forgot? Your archangel that you frickin' serve is named Raphael, you idiot." As he says this, "Oh, you're saying that I'm the idiot." As Izuku just says this, "Both of you shut up." As they say this, "You're not the boss of me." As Izuku just says this, "Say that again and your head shall be ripped off." As he says this, sure." As Maria appears, as she says this, "You probably know me. I am Maria, and I'm the Archangel disciple of the Archangel Uriel, and this is my partner, Prometheus." As he says this, "Nice to meet you all. So, get your weapons, or at least your partners." As everybody starts getting their partners being represented by, different types of weapons, to guns, to swords, to blades, to spears, to nunchucks, in fact, and many other types of weapons. As Bako grabs these gauntlets, which, these gauntlets represent, like, or not represent, I meant, like, resemble, you know, black and white. These black and white, gauntlets are able to shoot out blasts of, um, let's just say interesting types of, attacks. One of his attacks is a gigantic explosion, similar to his, like, special attack. I can't remember the name. I think it was called, like, Howitzer Impact. I meant Howitzer Impact, but except with just one arm. And the other is basically the opposite, which is basically an implosion. And if you don't know, it's basically the opposite of a explosion, which just sucks up and just poof disappears. As for Todoroki, she grabs a sword. This sword is able to channel the powers of ice and fire. In fact, this the only artificial partner, or weapon that can actually speak. As he says this, "Nice to meet you. You can call me Protovatos." As she says, "Wait, this one can actually talk?" As Izuku just says this, "Interesting. So this thing can actually talk?" As one of them, being Oliver, says this, "I thought they're supposed to be, not be talking." As Jinho says this, "Interesting. Anyway, let's just start going." As everybody was brought to a large portal. As this portal is actually the portal to hell, and the one in front of them is Abaddon, and right beside them is the chained up body of Orcus. Orcus looks like a large, tower of a man, made from bricks, almost like a golem, but he only has one eye and large horns. As he says this, "Ugh, I can't believe you actually beated me. I'm supposed to be Orcus, the gatekeeper of hell, and you made me an angel, you ace of..." As he says this, "Shut up, you damn demon. Now, Izuku and the rest of these other Archangel disciples, and you must be the people that decided to join us." As he say hello, as he says this, "Very well, it's time to open the gate." As he creates a large key resembling the keyblade from, actually, I kind of forgotten the name for that series. It's basically like that, like a mix of like anime and also like Disney properties. I can't remember the name of that series because I'm not even bothered to know that type of series, but just imagine him grabbing a blade that resembles that Keyblade thing. Wait for a second. Something happened. Anyway, as everybody starts going into the portal, one of them being All Might says this. So, we're just gonna be going into hell then, as Izuku just says this. Yes, we're just meant to defeat the Leviathan, but we should try and avoid any type of fight for now. As everybody goes into the portal, as Abaddon says this. Good luck. So, as everybody starts going into the portal, Orcus says this. So, why did you decide to let these stupid humans fight us? As he says this. Because, for what I did, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for letting those demons run around, do whatever the hell they wanted. And that is why I let them go in, so they can finally destroy what I created. So, when they got into the portal, they see hell. This hell resembles a large city, because they're currently in the, city of this. Not in like, THIS. Like, it's actually called DIS. As in this, not this. So, they see a large gate in front of them saying, a quote. And that quote is, abandoned whole, I meant, abandoned all hope for anybody that enters the. And everybody says this. That doesn't sound, pretty ominous. As Izuku just says this. Come on, let's go. As they started moving forward, as All Might says this. So, these are, as Izuku just says this. Yes, people that are punished for their sins. As they see several demons start pouring magma and many other, dangerous items into these gigantic holes. As they see several people screaming from these holes. As Ibarra says this. So, that is where people get punished. As Izuku just says this. Yeah, these people deserved it. After all, they did sin in life. Wait for a second. As Izuku starts looking around, as Izuku sees a large, tower. As Izuku just says this, everybody stand back. I'm guessing this is the tower of. As they see a demon appear. This demon was a demon prince. In fact, it's a demon king. As he bows down, as he says this, it's nice to meet you. The name's Belphegor, the demon of laziness. As Izuku just says this, really, then why are you not on your throne? As he says this, well, ever since, Leviathan decided to, cause a coup, well, I was, pretty stressed out, so I decided to, maybe have a walk or two or three. And that is why I feel kind of afraid. As Izuku just says this. So, Belphegor, where's Leviathan anyway? As he says this. Oh, he's in the deepest layer of hell. He's in the deepest layer of hell. In the 10th layer, where the frozen, sea is. And that's where the body of, Lucifer is currently in. As Izuku just says this. Okay. And by the way, if you dare try and kill us, we will not hesitate to kill you. As he says this. I swear, I don't want to have any trouble. I just want to, just relax and just, have fun and not cause any, terrifying anomalies. Yeah, terrifying anomalies. As Izuku just says this. Hmm, whatever. As everybody starts moving away. And so, they started moving on to the next layer of hell. As they see a large, boiling river of blood. As one of them, being Monoma, says this. Is this actual blood? As Izuku just says this. Yes, the blood of those who murdered others. This is their sin. As they see a army of centaur, which they approach Izuku. And they're actually quite nice. In fact, they're actually quite, friendly. They even helped Izuku. And so everybody starts riding on the back of these, Minotaur. I meant Minotaur. I meant, the centaur. Wait for a second. God damn. Right on the back of the centaur, as while they're skipping across the river of boiling blood, they sadistically laugh as they start shooting off these arrows tipped with poison, so they can let these sinners stay in the boiling river and blood forever. As one of them, being Ochako, says this to the centaurs. Is this kind of pretty bad? As one of them said this. Well, it's our job to destroy these sinners, or should I say, punish them for their sins. So, yeah, that is why we decided to, make these sadistic laughs. We've been here for a long time. As they were brought to the end of the river, as they started bringing Izuku off their backs, including the rest of the heroes. And so, the centaurs start leaving, as they start going to another level. As they see the people that represent gluttony are punished. These people were, starving and thirsty. But unfortunately, the, tree that have, several different types of food started moving, further away from them if they try to get their food. And if they try to, try and drink the water from the, pond that they're staying in, they started moving away, the water. And it's a, you know, pretty horrible cycle, as everybody's saying this. So, this is where people that represent gluttony get punished? As Ezekiel just says this, exactly. As they started moving on, as they see the Lord of the Flies himself. Well, or at least the former Lord of the Flies. As he looks terrified, saying, oh no, Leviathan, what did you do? Oh God. As Ezekiel just says this. So, you must be Beelzebub, the demon, or should I say, Prince of Hell that represents gluttony. As he says this, disciples of, the Archangels, please don't kill me. It wasn't my fault, it's Leviathan's. As he says this, being Izuku. Then what are you doing here with your... As he says this. Oh, yeah. Ever since the, coup, well... my castle has been destroyed. Because I was trying to help Lucy. But they were destroyed. Now I have no home. I don't have any food anymore. I am stuck here. He starts crying. As Izuku just says this. Ugh, he's useless. Let's just start moving. As the rest of the disciples start leaving. But one of them still, still stays. As it's Kaminari. Kaminari brings him a bag of trail mix. As he says this. Here, I'm not really hungry. So, here, as he says this, thank you. What's your name, kid? As he says this, Kaminari. As he says this, thank you, kid. By the way, if you were to, wish for something, I would gladly wish that for you, but for now, I'm gonna be eating this. And so, Belphegor starts chowing down on the, trail mix that Kaminari gave him. So they start moving on to the next layer of hell, which is a gigantic war zone. As Izuku tells all of them to start, sneaking around, because this is definitely a territory that, being led by Leviathan. As they see a large river. This large river contained several demons riding on boats, and they wield several different types of like blades that resemble blades from like pirates. Even some of the demons resemble like pirates. As Ezekiel just says this. So I'm guessing this is the troop of, wait for a second. So I'm guessing these are the armies of hell that Leviathan's, you know, um, controls. As one of them said this, yeah, these things are pretty strong. As one of them, being Maria, says this, I could take them on, but I need some cover. As Ezekiel just says this, but currently we're still pretty weak. And besides, if we let these, newbies try to, take them down, well, it would be a bloody slaughter. As one of them, being Bako, said this, what did you say, nerd? As Ezekiel just says this, Bako, just calm down. Do you want those demons terrorizing everybody? And do you want them to kill all of us? As he says this, whatever. As Ezekiel tells them to start sneaking around. And so, while they're sneaking around, they see several people, mostly people that are, that came from the, from the next circle that they're going to be soon going to, are frozen in place. As one of them being, wait first, Ida says this. So, why are these people like frozen? As Ezekiel just says this, those are the people that decide to become traitors. Those that deceive, they're from the next circle. So it's better for all of you to wear these. As they were given, well, pretty warm clothing. As they started wearing it. As Ezekiel tells all of them to get ready because this circle is going to be cold. And so, they moved on to the next circle. And this circle was the second to last circle to the final circle. This circle is where Leviathan is now ruling. As Ezekiel just says this. So, this is the final circle before we go to Leviathan's chamber. Or should I say, his castle. As everybody starts getting ready, as Ezekiel tells all of them to wear, or at least wield their weapons, because there's going to be some demons coming around there. And so, they start bringing out their weapons. The Metatron weapons. And so, for, Todoroki, she starts bringing out Protovados, her partner. As he says this, you better get ready, kid. And so, they started moving there, to that little area. The other circle, the final circle, before they go to Leviathan's castle. So, while they're looking around, they see several demons conversing with each other. These demons were low-ranking, resembling fish, half-human hybrids, saying things like, it was pretty easy for Leviathan to kill, Lucifer. As some of them said this, yeah, Lucifer, that damn annoying asshole, keeps ruling us like with an iron fist. Even though he's actually quite a nice guy to us demons, he was still pretty prideful. But ever since, Leviathan decided to rule, god dang it. Wait for a second. Decided to rule, he's been a tyrant. As when Ezekiel heard that, Ezekiel tells all of them to get ready, because they're gonna, sneak attack them. And so, Ezekiel starts getting ready, wielding his scythe Thanatos. As for the others, they start bringing up their guns. As they strike, Izuku grabs one of the demons as they pull them down to the ground. As for the others, they start pulling down the other demons as they tied them up and bring them to a pretty small area where they started interrogating them, saying things like, "Where the hell is Leviathan?" and what did the Leviathan to what did Leviathan do to Lucifer, and what they're going to be doing in after they complete their wait for a second, their complete domination of hell. As they explain, apparently after Leviathan takes over hell as the brand new king, he would take over heaven, earth, and the literal universe, even probably taking over and taking over the entire multiverse. As Izuku just says this, multiverse. As the demons say this, we're not really sure what that means, but apparently the multiverse is where the actual true god, or at least the first god, came to be. I think his name was Deus or something, Deus ex Wakita or whatever. As Izuku just says this. Interesting. As Izuku tells every single one of his, friends, or at least the people that decide to, join him in his final battle between, Hell, that they're gonna be resting for now. And so, everybody starts, putting up camp. And so, everybody starts resting, including Izuku, as they rest. And so this will be the end of this episode, because I'm sorry I'm not going to be ending this series off just yet. Maybe in the next episode, but maybe. It's just a maybe. And so this will be the end of this episode. And so I hope you liked the video, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!